Hey ho everyone, and welcome to this in-depth analysis of the best of three tier, or maybe not tier, but format played in Ubers Premier League XII. One game from the semifinals, and one game I think it was from week 8. I'm not sure. There was only one game played in. The one best of three game played in the semifinals. The other one was a dead game. So we're covering a second set from a previous week instead. But today with me is Ainzcrad.
Yo, what's up? I'm one of the players that played in it, and I would like to go in depth with Waruchuu and kind of give my thoughts on how my personal series went and the other opponent of the other semis opponents for PDT.
Yeah, so I don't really know much about the best of three format. I suppose I know these tiers separately decently well. I mean, maybe not Gen 8, but I definitely got to know more through the analyses we've done here in previous episodes. So I'm excited to see where this goes. So could you maybe tell us a bit about what maybe makes this format distinct from the other tiers?
I think the big thing is that there is much more in depth that you have to think about in terms of preparation before the tier, and also in terms of time consumment, because you got to be ready to spend like around an hour for a series like this. To really like take care of the series, play it out, and those preparation you gotta be aware of 3 different generations, which other tiers just you have to learn one tier and that's it. While the other one you gotta be flexible and you gotta be able to switch on the spot from SV mechanics to USUM mechanics to sword and shield mechanics, which I think makes it very distinct in that way.
So also, do players have like weak spots more or less? So maybe they're good in only 2 of the tiers, and some players pretty certain they can get a win in one of these 3, or is that usually not how it works?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I think just generally glossing over the players, I think a big thing is like, for example, PDT, a very strong Scarlet and Violet player, who has less experience in, for example, Sword and Shield. But if I look at a player like Bacon, he is really fucking good in Sword and Shield, while his experience in, for example, again, USM being a little bit less. Well, that's, for example, the opposite for me. So I definitely agree with what you're mentioning.
Yeah, so other than that, the usual tier specifications here are play. We've covered those in depth in the videos of SV, SS, and SM respectively. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can go watch these videos. And other than that, I think we can get right into the matches. So starting with the one from the semifinals, U versus PTD.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, four months are the same. That's interesting.
The big brokens.
Yeah, I mean, Zacian has dropped off since the second DLC because Ho-Oh and Duskmane are of course very strong and pretty much everywhere, but of course Zacian is still a very strong Pokemon which can take the game if positioned correctly and at least do a whole lot of damage, so makes sense why it still has as much representation. So your team looks like it is Screen's hyper offense.
Yeah, pretty much going into this game, I was like thinking, what might PT bring? And generally having a scout, which I kind of worked on, prioritizing SV as like the tier I wanted to spend the less time on, making screens a really good idea into the scout they had at that point. And with like some notes I put down, I thought screens was a really good option into all the offenses they brought. In the end, bringing a style like this to try to get into their offense leniency at that point.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure from the team preview how PDD's team is going to play. I mean, it's of course also very offensively focused, but it doesn't really have those hazards. So I think it's more like a bulky offense, going for maybe a bit of a longer game. Going by the team preview, I would also assume that PDD's Coridon is likely to be Choice Scarf, while yours is almost certain to be Scale Shot behind screens, of course. Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
Also not sure about the Eternatus, that what benefit it brings to this kind of team.
I think the big thing for Eternatus is D-Spikes, making the HO matchup a little easier. And to mention the skill shot point, it was originally the plan, but I decided to use Flame Charge in this matchup. Just because of their lack of Kyogre usage and Flame Charge just being easier to pilot with screens, just having immediate power and freeing up another slot in terms of moves that you can use over it. Like Skill Shot has a chance to miss, but Flame Charge doesn't, making the risk less frequent, and having the option to slot in Dragon Claw, which doesn't have any bad things that might happen, like a drop, defense drop, or miss.
Yeah, but also that also means you don't have Flablets, right?
I didn't use Flablets, indeed.
Yeah, that's the downside to the set. It's generally not as powerful, but going with screens, it would of course make sense that you wouldn't want to drop your defenses. So another thing I see from this Steam preview, I'm also a bit uncertain about the Arceus sets. I mean, I think both are very likely to be just a regular Calm Mind. While yours could of course also be Dragon Dance, but I think that would be a bit less likely since you only have one special attacker otherwise. Big matchup deciding factor here could be the speed investment on the arcs. So if it comes to a Calm Mind war and the one Arceus is faster always, that is like pretty much decides who wins that. If the position is not like very advantageous to the slower one. Yeah, Kyogre probably Specs, I would say even. I mean, Boots are also very good, but I think PDD's team kind of needs a wall breaker. I mean, Miraidon also does that with the pivot set, but I think we can just jump into the game and see.
But.
What did you say?
No, bet. Go right ahead.
Alright.
Excuse me. But I didn't use CM. That's one surprise that you're gonna see right now.
Balloon. Okay. Dragon. So you led with the Arceus to cover for E-turn, potentially for E-turn on Miraidon, potentially going up against the Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, indeed. I had a lot of special defensive investment, at least partially. So I could like substitute on stuff like, for example, Fly Score, get a free substitute against that. I just pretty much substituted for free after onto the Eternatus. Pretty much expecting him to go Kyogre with a heavy duty boot set, pretty much making abusement from that and getting a DD up and then another one after. But I got punished really insanely hard by Air Balloon.
Yeah.
Make me pretty much on the back foot.
I would have also expected the Miraidon to maybe be a double dancer instead of life orb, but maybe the Carmine is still coming up.
Yeah, it was Calm Mind, because I pretty much was worried about the stall matchup. That's why I loaded pretty much Life Orb just to have immediate power and not be able to get fucked by stall.
I think Possession doesn't kill here, right? If you're physically defensive.
It doesn't. Actually did, because I only had 12 invest in defense this time.
Alright.
A lot.
I kind of wonder if it would have maybe been the play to sack me right on there, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Was something I considered. That I was like, if Ainzcrad isn't doing anything while Ogre's up because it's Stone Edge, while Kyogre has Air Balloon, I just have no options to use it. While Marina can always punish stuff like Eternus if it comes in. It can punish the sack into Ogre, pretty much forcing a kill. That's why I opted for the Ainzcrad.
Yeah, makes sense.
So what do you think about this crackheaded Satian working overtime?
I mean, it's pretty much to be expected. It's like good positioning by PDD, going in after the Arceus died, giving a good opportunity to set up on the -4 Miraidon.
For sure.
Yeah. I wonder.
Yeah.
Predicting the sword stance could have been a play here, but I don't think it would be the right one, since if it did just use Behemoth Blade or Play Rough, I don't think they run Play Rough nowadays, but that would have been very detrimental. So.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like trying to scout the set to see if he had Wild Charge, because I was using more defensive DD Necrozma. That Reflect allows us to just substitute after, because I'm Terra Water, pretty much resisting the moves they might throw at me.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reason why I didn't.
I think something else to consider would have maybe even to sack the Coridon, since as you explained the set isn't as useful here because it is up against the Kyogre, and also maybe a bit because there's one Pheromone and the other three are likely to Terra. I don't know if Dragon Claw kills Eternal at full. +0, I mean.
Yeah. I can see the vision. And my Chrome is lagging. Jesus Christ. Here I choked, to be honest. I should just recovered up. Not risking Chore Scarf, and instead just took the kill. Went from there. But after I just knew I lost there, so it pretty much was the last game for me at that point.
Yeah.
Conversation trying to SD up, getting overheated, and then it was pretty much like, yeah, this is over. With heat eject back tech to just get it out and then force Groudon.
I wonder if you would have won here if you won here for sure if you pressed Moonlight. I mean, the Reflect was up for 5 turns at this point, so
yeah,
you would have probably been able to get in 2 or 3, and not sure if the Coridon's levels, how much would it have had done without the Reflect?
Without Reflect, I still had Terra at that point, so I pretty much lived that because I was Terra Water and I could just Terra it afterwards.
Yeah.
To just get that, but I was pretty much just being way too greedy at that point, and that kind of lost me the game at that point.
I think Photon Geyser would have one-shot everything at this point. After
Yeah.
the Zation died, I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Then at first I tried to bluff Terra Ghost, because it was Terra Fire, but he just low kicked, and I pretty much lost from there.
Yeah. So, you decided to go as M next. What was your decision behind that, and also behind like the general team?
I think going into this series, I was like, yeah, BT is just better than me in SV, so I was like, I'm gonna use M, which was my strongest gen, and still is. So I was like, I'm gonna go with a more comfort pick in USUM. Slightly not my style, because this type of structure isn't something I tend to use at this point. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna use something that I think is good into the scout, but I'm also comfortable with. This team went through a lot of changes. The team name is even Mega Gengar plus Geo Xerneas, and there is no Xerneas or Mega Gengar. So I went through a lot of changes, and in the end, I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm gonna load Comfort at this point. Because we're getting very nervous at that point. Now, what do you think about this matchup? I'm kind of curious now.
I mean, both teams look to be very offensive. Krozma is the specially defensive set is viable, but in this kind of team structure, both of them look to be just yeah, ultra Necrozma. I mean, your team would have the possibility to be like more in the direction of balance with Eviltal, of course, maybe being physically defensive. Kyogre, I quite honestly don't really know what it does since I have not seen it quite as often. So like the general capabilities, of course, but not which kind of set you would run on which team. Yeah, so your team is probably like a hyper offense to bulky offense with like a ground on lead, and maybe different, not ground on lead here in this case, since you needed to cover the Xerneas if it gets a setup. Also a bit curious about the Mega Mewtwo pick on PTD's team. I think Mega Mewtwo X is not really viable, or outclassed at least, so I would assume it is likely Mega Mewtwo Y, which also kind of leads to the conclusion that the Necrozma PTD is using is physical. The Xerneas, I mean, it is a hyper offense team, so Geomancy does not seem unlikely, but Scarf is still something that could be considered since the team is yeah, does not have that much speed control. I also pretty much have no idea what the RCS forms are, to be honest. What could they be? I mean, RCS Ground looks definitely like a nice pick. Maybe it's RCS Water and PTD's team, or even E-Killer. Yeah.
I honestly don't remember what PDT's was. I think it was a defensive Arceus Ground set. Though mine was on the Steam Arceus Ground. Just as a solid checkup on everything. And it was a matchup where it was like, yeah, Mega Mewtwo is coming. So I decided to load like Yveltal, Marshadow, and of course the double primals just to cover stall, and also being very good into fat teams.
So, anything you would like to add to this analysis or disprove my reasoning for some of these?
I think the reasoning has been pretty good. And I think the best option for now is, I think, to jump into the game
Yeah.
to see what actually happens. Because I know what happens, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Of course, not leading with the Groudon since it needs to be kept healthy. Going out with the... Why does he want to keep the Groudon healthy so much? I mean, yeah, okay, Yveltal could defog, Roost, and Toxic, so it is probably the right choice to get the Groudon out since it would not be able to do much here.
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for him was to keep it healthy for Primal Kyogre, which
Oh,
just clicks
Legendary.
buttons. Yeah, was attacked from a Pet Fighter too. He just told me, use run. After me yelling at him the entire week to not load it. I'm
That's
just upset.
interesting. I don't think I've ever seen Yveltal.
It's pretty good. Ironically, it helps you just check stuff like Toxic Groudon and just switch in, take it 2 out. And this item was really good from PDT because it was Sucker Punch, but I was too scared to click it at that point.
What would have been the negative consequence if you clicked it and PDD wouldn't have attacked?
Honestly, I was just being schizophrenic about a potential Arceus ground switching, which if I clicked Sucker Punch, he can switch into it, he can CM up, and if I don't really play aggressively, I just lose too much HP on my Kyogre, which was my main win condition at that point.
But wouldn't
Though it
you
was,
gotten to
it was
just
a rush.
Toxic the
Yeah,
Arceus?
yeah, indeed. I was just rushing way too much. Nerves were really high for me. To the point that anxiety was yelling at me to keep calm and stop rushing.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty high stakes game, so of course it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, indeed. And then I just played really aggressively with the low kick, bulking up, and just forcing a kill to just get even at that point.
Didn't expect the Z move on Marshadow. I would have expected this to be like Ultra Necrozma, but seems I'm wrong.
It isn't Ultra, it's a specially defensive set, because otherwise I just lost to Yveltal. To Xerneas in practice. So I opted for that instead.
Wouldn't you have killed with close combat here?
Yeah, but it's Shore Scarf.
Oh.
Shore Scarf Yveltal. Because I was max speed, I was like, yeah, no shot, this is non-Scarf. So I would just pivot into my Arceus ground and then
Yeah,
pivot.
okay, makes sense. The Scarf ones are modest, right? Modest as well, I think.
Yeah. Big crowning coming in. It was a fucked position for me indeed. It was really scary at that point. Because I had to pick a side.
I'm currently thinking what the benefit to not going Yveltal here was. Foul play would have killed, right? Or Dark Pulse.
It would have killed, though it allows Kyogre in. And everything that I have left is two shot by Precipice Blade from the Primal Groudon.
Doesn't the Groudon invite Kyogre even more? To Faith Degree even?
Honestly, Primal Groudon does like, I will check real quick, but does like, I think 75-ish with just Precipice Blades onto my face.
Yeah, okay. Attacking the Arceus ground here. Get some momentum.
I was barely able to live. Because it was like, yeah, if this is
pressing Ice Beam here, yes.
Yes, sir. Being aggressive as shit. And it did 84 till 100% with Precipice Blades into Kyogre.
Oh, okay. Didn't quite expect that.
They are barely lived because it was defensive.
And
just
it
trying
also
to
barely lived.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, fuck this, I'm taking the trade. Because I was down at that point. I was like, yeah, I need this kill right now.
Doesn't Primordial C come back up after Groudon
It
things?
doesn't.
Okay, I didn't know that. I was convinced it would come back up.
No, unfortunately, it doesn't. It just stays away. Going from Groudon, it was literally mono switch and I died to everything. It was like, I need this to be Scarf. But then he revealed Ultra Necrozma and was scared as shit. I was like, yeah, this is over. Just Marshadow to go for crit. But he switched out, which was like, at that point I didn't know his set. So I was like, yeah, what the fuck is this? Going Necrozma to see if it's Scarf, trying to recover HP. So it was out of EQ range. He
Would
missed the
have
focus
killed?
blast.
I don't think so, right? It would have barely lived.
Yeah, I would have barely lived, but I was like, I'm going for the misses. I need those misses to live in EQ. But in the end, he SD'd right there, so I was like, yeah, well, just take Sunsteel, trying to get the 3 go. After which you feel to be
What was
Morning
the
Sun.
SD for? Oh, it has Moonlight.
Yeah, it's Photon Geyser Sunsteel Strike, which I didn't expect on team preview. But when I noticed that, I just went for the Toxic, trying to hit
Oh.
it. Though, to be fair, it was really lucky for me to get 2 focus misses.
What is the other attack that it goes for light burns that burns the sky?
Sunsteel Strike.
What is that cover?
Xerneas. Xerneas Archer's Fairy.
Hmm.
Though I agree, it's not the greatest set there is. But I was really glad about it because it was the one that gave me the win in the end.
Yeah, also makes sense why they switched out earlier.
Yeah, that pretty much just made sure that that was it. Afterwards, I just went for Morning Sun, Morning Sun, Morning Sun. To just risk it and try to get as much toxic damage as I could to get in Shadow Sneak range. Here I should have probably Sunsteel, but I was like, yeah, I'm gonna risk it either way. And here I just Sunsteel because I was dying. To that plus toxic damage.
Yeah. Alright, interesting game. I didn't expect some of these sets for sure, like the Lumberry Eviltal or the Necrozma set.
It was pretty much a change of pace
Yeah.
at that
So
point.
for this set we have the Gen 8 one last up.
Yeah. I went against my plans. I was literally like yelling at my team, I want to use HO.
HO Richard Stall, Ice Master Stall, that is right.
Yeah, I just literally during the series, after game 2, I was like shaking. I was like, yeah, fuck this, I'm gonna load HO. I'm chasing the plans. And then I saw this matchup. It's like, oh fuck. This was like, I was using a second balance, which in the end I'm glad I didn't, because I was like worried that he might stall and bring some kind of bulky offense that the team really struggled with. And in the end I just said, I'm loading HO, I'm way too nervous to like think properly, and went with this.
Yeah.
Well, as you mentioned, the Ice Master 6.
The last time I played SS was against this team from Ice Master, and I haven't played since, so that's probably telling of this team. Heal Bell, Fable with Magic Guard also is able to keep the team healthy. I think it's Rest, Kyogre, both spikes and stealth rocks coming from Ferrothorn and Necrozma. So Yeah, this team can definitely go into a long game and would stall pretty much everything if the opponent isn't able to disable these key pieces like Cable or Eviltal, which is also able to defog here. I think in the game I must have played against me, he used Landorus T, but I could also be misremembering. Probably not. Yeah, and you're playing Cloister HO. I think isn't Cloister HO a bit frowned upon, or is that only in other generations?
It's pretty frowned upon, but this team was used by Shion the week before. And I was like, yeah, this is a cool HO, I'm loading it. Because otherwise I was using a slurp buff, Sashi spam. But this team was proven by my teammate, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna use this after I got past. And in the end, it helped out a ton. It is a really good team. I think it's a more innovative take on HO in Sword and Shield.
Yeah. Also, it's rare to see an HO team without a Groudon. I think the Xerneas takes the place of the Groudon, which would be usually here. I do wonder though how you would be going for the breakthrough against this team. I mean, everything here is pretty much immune to the spikes due to the heavy duty boots and the magic guard. And every Pokemon is checked at least by one of the opposing Pokemon, so I think you would have to outmaneuver the opponent to perform to get a win here, or am I wrong? Is there like a secret win condition that can break through it all?
No, honestly, it's true. I just pretty much got one really aggressive play right, which gave me the opportunity to just go ham. But I think if you look at the replay, you kind of can guess where I just went aggressively and see what I did.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Kyogre versus Cloyster. Going for Scald Burn Instakill maybe? No, it wouldn't have.
Just went for 2-shot. I went really greedy with Focus Blast, trying to get 2 KO, which. And this I just wanted a little bit of chip, so I can just kill it easier down the line.
Yeah, the second spike would have also not done too much here.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, yeah, I'm taking chip.
I think you survived one Sunsteel.
Yeah, indeed. I was just really greedy. I should have done it twice. And in that, I was really greedy in trying to get 2 focus misses.
Why didn't you Thunder?
Greed. The only reason is greed. Because
right, Thunder has 10 power less, right?
Yeah, it doesn't 2-shot Spadef. And I forgot this wasn't like really especially defensive Dragon Dance, more offensive, which was a mistake on my end. But I should just done it twice.
But wouldn't Thunder into Focus Blast have also killed?
I think it barely didn't.
Okay. Because the probability of getting paralysis here would have also been nice there, but yeah. It has no leftovers, so it won't be more offensive. And it's... oh, that's unfortunate.
There was honestly an SP in my head going so fucking greedy for it. Just trying to catch the Yveltal switch in. Afterwards, just trying to take the damage. And forcing kill. I was Lemonberry. So I was pretty much just trying to get kills going and try to go from there. Sucker Punch Revenge. I was Stone Edge.
Yeah, could have also not moonlighted up here because of the rain, only allowing for 50% it.
Yeah.
Is that a meteor beam? Yes.
Yep.
And it all goes.
Oops. Yeah, indeed. I just want 4 substitute just to try to get the HP. Afterwards, I noticed he went Eternatus, and so I was like, yeah, I'm taking the skill. Afterwards, he switched Clef, which pretty much made me think he wants to PP stall me out and was willing to risk the Moonblast roll to break Substitute. And then afterwards, just playing greedy with clicking Flamethrower, trying to get the damage, and then afterwards, Substitute Meteor Beam, pretty much ensuring Flamethrower could KO the Clefable from his range. And it was max speed, timid, so I was like, yeah, there's no show. I'm just clicking buttons at this point. And then I pretty much win from there, because I knew it was knockoff, making it easier to risk for me at that
Yeah,
point.
that was quite interesting. The Eternatus pretty much taking the whole game here.
Yeah.
Despite it looking so grim before. Was it always your plan to end up with the E-turn sweeping? I mean, it would have been your best bet, of course, but you had to position it in a way where Rain is running out, or Kyogre isn't able to set it up again, because the checks to Flamethrower are, of course, boosted in their defensive capabilities by the Rain.
Yeah, indeed. I think my plan was like to try and get as much damage as soon as possible and try to fish for the Clefable in some way, shape, or form, because that way my Yveltal could have won. But when I saw the opportunity after the Necrozma dead, it's like, yeah, he's just clicking. I'm just going for the turns game right then and there, because I saw just opportunity to see it as a win condition, and pretty much went for it. I was like, yeah, I gotta win, so I'm just gonna risk it and see what happens, because that worked last time.
Right. So did you not expect the Necrozma to be a knockoff here?
I didn't. I was thinking it was Earthquake, and I thought he would not sack it that easily, because I considered it as like, yeah, I get a boost. What if I'm disabled? What if I'm Encore, which was revealed, I think, at that point. And I was like,
The
yeah,
Leech
like,
Seed
just
was.
yeah, I just want the leeches to get the Yveltal shipment and just try to substitute, and get that going as my win con. But he punished me greatly by knocking off.
Yeah.
But I also noticed that he was really playing really aggressively. So I just tried to abuse it.
Right. Yeah, interesting games for sure. With pretty clutch wins at the end there. And I think with that we can move on to our second set. Richard versus Bacon. Bacon is also an interesting contender, but it was week 7, it seems, yeah. Because
Bacon is, yeah, he's the other contender for the finals.
yeah, so we have a game with both included here, and so we already know what to expect in the finals match then. The other match here, also starting with SV, that's common for these. Also interesting teams from both sides here.
For sure, for sure.
Groudon and King Gambit are both mons which are not really seen as often. I mean, King Gambit has picked up somewhat in usage, I believe, but Groudon is only rarely used since its job is done better by Arceus Ground and Tinglu, which is also on this team. I mean, they do have some differing roles. Groudon's really tanky on the physical side, but you don't really need that from a ground type like this, which also can recover without leftovers. Yeah, extreme killer Arceus, so in general, very offensive team from Richard. And
I
they,
pretty much watched them.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, go
no,
ahead.
go ahead. I think this match was really interesting to see what they might cook up. Because the Jaguars had to win this week to clinch playoffs. Well, Dracofish were pretty much guaranteed in at that point. At this point, after they got like 5 wins or something, and Bacon just going the anti-offense route, while Richard just went for heat and cooking.
Yeah. Bacon also has a Ditto in a more defensive team or bulky team that is. That's also interesting. Yeah, I think Bacon's team is pretty much balanced, with the Ditto being more or less the Pokemon that is supposed to discourage the opponent from playing too aggressively, setting up and going for a win like that. So interesting to see how this game goes. Probably Stealth Rock, Thunderwave, Arceus.
Probably.
Draco kills, right? Yeah. Solar Beam. Life Orb. Goes for Solar Beam again, predicting a switch out. But here comes the Sacred Fire and the Sun. Also does not do a lot of damage. The third Solar Beam.
He's crazy. He's really crazy for doing that. That shit's actually insane.
Significantly weakening the Arceus, which is also revealed to likely be a Lumberry. Or Heavy Duty Boots, could be both, but I think Lumberry is more likely on a team like this.
Extremo Speedo.
From the place around the hole, I would assume that the hole is actually a defensive set and is supposed to somewhat serve as the defensive backbone of Richard's team.
Probably. Groudon coming in, trying to SD, but immediately getting forced out. And being scared of another Solar Beam, or in this case, Dragon Pulse. Barely not getting the Tinglu, making another 10% chip on the Miraidon for pretty much free.
Yeah. Sweet. Not sure if
Probably
I like this play. I don't think the keeping the Miraidon here would be very valuable. It has already done for a bit, and to the King Gambit and the Arceus, it's not as valuable. But also,
I think. Go ahead.
Also, if Stealth Rocks come up, it won't be able to come in again. So it would have probably been better to have the Koraidon U-turn on it, get the kill, and then take the momentum to go into your own answer. Just like this, the Arceus gets recover and the progress that Bacon made is lost.
I personally disagree. I think it was a really great play conserving it. Because the reason of, if ever you get a sack off, like for example, you sack off the Landorus, you sack off the Necrozma or whatever, onto the Ho-Oh or the Groudon, you pretty much get a kill for free, and you also make Richard think of Terra Ghost in case of Arceus. Pretty much also, if you have it and it comes down to it, you have that option open. While Landorus also punished the U-turn play, getting 60% chip on probably his scariest Mon in the back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's how I think about the situation, of course.
Yeah, I still think it is somewhat risky, since to get this extra value out of Miraudon, you also have to position it correctly. I still think both plays would have been fine here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hunting the Arceus, but it has already done its thing. Returning out instead of getting rocks is a bit curious.
Going for the U-turn. Trying to take the chip. Revealing Earthquake on that ground.
I wonder what the item the ground was. Maybe heavy duty boots? Or longer
Maybe.
even. Iron defense Arceus, so it's demon.
The demon set, indeed.
Judgment doing a total of nothing. Yeah, I think that pretty much confirms the Ho being defensive.
Photon Geyser SD back into the game, threatening, and in the end, not tearing, being a sack off.
Just want to go one turn back.
Yeah.
Where were we? I think right about here. So it was Silk Scarf actually.
That's pretty interesting. Just for some more damage, I guess.
I mean, the +2 without Silk Scarf doesn't kill. I'm pretty sure at 100%.
Yeah, probably.
So yeah, Richard would have had nothing to lose if it wasn't from not e-speeding. If it wasn't
Silk
Silk Scarf.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a little risky to just not do anything this turn.
Yeah, predicting the Terra Ghost, of course. Here, I wonder, if it was Terra Ghost potentially, if the Terra Ghost would have been the correct play here. I think if it was Terra Ghost, that could have been very threatening, because the Ditto does not pick up the Terra, right?
Yeah, indeed. Just pretty much you get into a situation where you can't do anything besides pivot spam with the ho-ho. Sorry, with the Landorus.
So
That's
if
the
it
only
was
option left.
Terra Ghost, I think it could have Terra Ghosted here, set up a second sword stance, and then swept the entire game, right?
Yeah, indeed. I think it was pretty much over at that point, if it was Targoth. And then taking the value from the almost dead Miraidon, taking the Draco chip, pretty much putting it into outrage range.
I think that means the Hoa is physically defensive.
I
Otherwise,
assume so.
I think it would have taken less.
Yeah, I assume so. Oh, Groudon v Groudon. The most ace matchup to see. And Bacon just taking the slow approach. Because he knew, like, so long as I play safe, I just win this game. Because there's nothing Richard could do at this point.
I wonder what that play was supposed to accomplish. Like, going into Ditto,
Yeah.
But the brave bird doesn't kill. So it's like free recover for the hobo, or
I think it was to try and stall out the Braveheart PP, and also recovering the Ditto's HP, because it was regenerated, so you're back to full. Being able to just click buttons after. I think. I'm pretty much going into stall war. Oh ho, feed the world.
yeah, okay, the plan of stalling out the PP becomes apparent here.
Yeah, it's pretty
Using
much.
the 5 recover PP wisely, yeah. Kraden has of course be kept healthy, so it can withstand a sucker punch from the King Gambit. Arceus would also be able to do that, but it can't. I think it can't even two-shot the King Gambit, right?
Depends on AVs, I think. But I think the biggest thing that you can take away from this game is Bacon is trying to use as much PP from the Hoa as possible with the Ditto, and trying to accomplish the fact that he uses Sacred Fires by misclick or whatever, so Arceus Fairy is less likely to get burned, as I say that he gets it burned.
Yeah, so using the regenerator here wisely to not waste any PP and also get more chip.
Yeah, pretty much.
The last attack is knock off, I think. Oh,
No.
earthquake.
No. Even worse. Even worse. I just quickly skimmed through at how many turns it still has left. Be aware it's like 82 turns at this point.
Alright, I picked on hyper fast then. I don't think we need to go through 50 more
Yeah,
turns in normal speed.
yeah, it was pretty much just over the moment that E-Killer dropped, because at that point Bacon just stalls. Well, Bacon just needs to keep King Gambit in check, not having it SD to +6 and just sweeping.
Yeah. So if Bacon does everything alright, this game was won at that point. So there's not really
Brick
much
break.
to add.
Going for the terror
Brick
here,
Rig
trying to
Terror
go.
Ground is crazy.
It's for sure crazy. It's for sure crazy.
Yeah, no PP left, and yeah, with that we are moving on to second game, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So immediately I see the Rotomorph, and I'm thinking, what is that?
It's honestly a decent Fishmon. Honestly,
What's supposed to accomplish?
it slaps down Arceus Ground. Arceus Ground can't do shit to it, because uses is CM, or like Judgment, Ice Beam, and Defog. But as Rotom Wash has Levitate, so you pretty much can't hit it properly at all. And also it checks Primal Ground, because you just resist all the moves, or am immune to it, and just pain split it off, and be annoying as shit to handle.
Yeah.
And for sure bringing the most standard ever balance I've seen with a Ho-Oh.
Yeah.
What do you think about this matchup?
I mean, like you said, it's fairly standard except for the Rotom here. Yeah, as standard as it can get. Groudon, Arceus, Necrozma, Yveltal, I mean Gengar and Ho also very common. Gengar in both teams, probably just there to ward off any breakers or defensive mons that might threaten the strategy. I'm not fully sure about sets of all the mons, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything out of the ordinary, anything too crazy, since both teams are normal structures which are to be expected. Yeah, I think Arceus Ground is the most likely in both teams. There is a possibility for Arceus Fairy on Richard's team.
I think so, yeah. Arceus Fairy. I think another option could be Arceus Water, though I think Fairy is more likely. Just to cover up the Yveltal matchup that you otherwise kind of struggle with.
Yeah. Well, then let's just get into it. King as substituting. It's interesting.
Yeah. It pretty much reveals either 3 attacks or it's like disable person type of shit. aka big annoying.
The Rotom just takes 75%, losing its leftovers in the process. That's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's choice band damage, though I'm not entirely sure. And Archer's flying from Bacon. Pretty good. But this Gengar stops his ways. With being the Trapper set disabled. Pretty much screwing over any type of CM. Arceus that just pretty much relies on judgment. And just trading your Mega Gengar for Arceus flying, making it easier for CB, Yveltal, or even Ho-Ho to win the game in the end.
Yeah.
But did you expect flying CS? Because I for sure didn't.
I'm a little unsure. I was wondering there for a moment if it maybe could have been a good play to go into Duskmane and keep the Gengar alive, but yes, sacking the Gengar was probably for the best here.
Yeah, I think you took like 45% from hitting that, I think. Missing Toxic, unfortunate, from Bacon. But,
Nice.
like, yeah. At that point, you just take the sack, and then he misses Stone Edge, making sure the Run and Wash gets a lot of HP back.
Is it like no HP, full death, full speed up, or what kind of set does it run here?
I think it's max HP, max defense. But the thing with Run and Wash is that it only has 50 base HP.
Yeah.
And when you compare it to like Ubers 80, 90, 100 plus, is pretty usual. So you get a lot of HP from playing split against a lot of mons.
Yeah, makes sense.
Big damage.
A whole lot of damage, knocking off the Choice Scarf.
And it's pretty much keeping the Necrozma safe in case it's Geomancy before getting screwed over by it.
Choice
And
Scarf
for feeling
Geomancy?
or just Geomancy in general. And for feeling Ultra Necrozma.
But the Choice Scarf was already knocked off at that point, or what did you mean?
Oh no, I mean before. Just
okay.
review. Also Necrozma trading down versus the Primal Ground. pretty much the biggest threat left at that point. And Mega Guard is coming in, taking the kill, but Alfred is getting revenge by the Scarf over. Or at least attempted to.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I think it's game, because I think Runawash is too low to take Brave Bird from this range.
Yeah, also it can't heal up, so it would have been killed by Evil Tall at that point anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it did survive. And that leads us to one last game. I immediately see Slurpuff and Tangrowth. SS Ubers.
Game. Yeah. I'm
Slurpuff
honestly surprised.
is, of course, used because of its ability to use Sticky Web. I believe it also has Unburden.
Yeah, indeed.
So it can get quite fast. I'm not sure what it is going to trigger the Unburden with. Maybe Citrus Berry. Or
Focus Sash.
oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense. All right.
Also, big Tangrowth gaming. I hadn't seen this shit since DLC 1. I'm being honest. Ever since Sage got banned, I didn't see a single Tangrowth. And Bacon here using probably the most shitmon in Steer, but it has an niche. It just pretty much checks non Heat Crush, Ground, or like DD in the Crossma, I guess.
I think into this kind of team, the sticky webs are pretty useless.
Yeah.
2 mons are flying. I mean, the sticky webs are probably nice into the Groudon. That I did not account for. But that also depends on the Groudon set, but it's likely to be like a late game sweeper with double dance, so rock polish and sword stance.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, other than that, the mons are mostly standard. I do kind of wonder what the Tangrowth does. I think it's usually Rocky Helmet, physically defensive with like, or AV also, like knockoff. And what else does it run?
I think it's like a Rocky Helmet Sunsport type shit. Just to make sure you just like check the Crossmetal's main or like a non-heat grass ground and stuff like that.
So you're saying it's Chlorople?
I think it's regeneration. Oh, sorry. Regenerator.
Oh, okay.
Just
I understood Sunspore instead of Stunspore.
Oh, excuse me, that might be my accent in the way.
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you there, go on.
No problem, no problem. I didn't have anything more to say. Excuse me for my accent, though.
No, I just misunderstood probably. I'm also a bit tired. So, let's best jump into it and see what these teams have to offer. Magic Code bouncing away the Stealth Rocks, that's interesting, did not see that. Getting 2 hazards off immediately, in 2 turns. Yawn, forcing the turn out probably.
Big explosion.
Missed the explosion. I think that's the first time I've seen that move used.
Big Groudon being set up bait at this point by the heat set. Throat spray Yveltal.
That's also interesting.
For sure. It's actually a really innovative take to abuse non-life form and just have the damage output.
Oh, now it can also it can also take out the E-turn because of the taunt.
Yeah, except his Dragon Tail just saying fuck you, honestly, and forcing it out. I think he goes, yeah, just goes for Flamethrower, trying
And
to
gets a
take the chip.
burn immediately. Amazing.
That burn is massive.
Yeah, it's huge. That means it doesn't two-shot the Xerneas anymore, right? Or does it with the rocks?
I think it barely doesn't, but the big thing is now, how are you stopping Eternalus? Because with Stealth Rock you kill with Sunset Strike, but after you don't. So like, you can't pivot into it anymore, so you're forced to sack into Geomancy. Now Big Tango Gaming is gonna do anything. Just pretty much eating Sunset Strike and paralyzing it. And gets a lucky para going for knockoff. And pretty much screwing Richard up. Because honestly, I think Richard is just gonna click Dragon Dance at that point, trying to get to +3 to speed the potential Yveltal, but getting the unlucky paras. Pretty much ensuring that Yveltal can revenge it.
So it is. It's also Meteor Beam. I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, indeed. Just needs the power output from +1. And Meteor Beam takes care of Yveltal, Ho-Ho, stuff like that. Go for another one, being greedy. But I think it's fair, because it's burned either way. So you can use that to your advantage.
Only issue would be if the Yveltal was Sucker Punch, but it did get a high roll here, being able to knock it out. So maybe second Meteor Beam was not the best choice.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it makes sense because afterwards, if it's not Sucker, you pretty much win the game. And it also covers the whole pivot onto Dynamax Cannon, which could just aid at that point. Yveltal trying to 1v1 another Yveltal, but it's toxic, so it's pretty much just like trying to get an endgame scenario with Xerneas at this point. Trying to take as much damage and chip that you possibly could at this point. Big life for Galrock Gaming. I want to see it be Hyper Beam now, honestly. Just to see the heat set, because otherwise why are you running Life Orb? Substitute. Scouting the Sucker. Hyper Beam Gaming.
Is that common? I thought
No.
you were joking.
It's not. It's just a meme set, but it works at times.
Yeah, I know. Xerneas, if
True.
it is Thunder, it should be able to Oko the Ho even from 4 at +2, right?
Yeah, indeed. Just taking the kill now, while Bacon tries to get the chip. And also just being really unlucky, missing the Thunder, pretty much losing the game from now. Because you're pretty sure at least one shot +2.
Yeah, although it's probably fair considering the Necrozma being burned, allowing for so many plays that shouldn't have been possible otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. Though it's still unlucky,
Yeah,
nonetheless.
of course. Pretty interesting to see also how these playstyles and preferences of players carry over through the different tiers. So another thing that might be interesting to think about, like in preparation, you usually also look at the opponent's playstyle, like when are they going to make reads, or when are they going to make mid-ground moves, when are they unsure, when are they just going to pick the most safe option. Does that differ between the generations, or is it usually the same?
It kind of depends on the generation, and of course who you're playing. Because I think like the big thing of Best of 3 as a like tier in a PL is you need to consider how much knowledge do they have in the tier. So like, for example, with my prep in general, I was like in USUM, given opponents, people like not trying to sound rude, of course, like Enters a fellow, I knew he wouldn't be as familiar with USM. Pretty much making my prep a little bit differently, trying to bring knowledge checks that could help me in game. And I think that's a big thing from Best of 3 in terms of a tier compared to other tiers.
Yeah. Alright. I think other than that, we pretty much only have the finals to go. I'm
Indeed.
also very interested to see these matches. So since Best of 3 only covers one tier, we can maybe talk a bit about all of the tiers if you have enough time for that.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to do quick predicts or?
Yes, or maybe just the highlight matches. Which matches are you personally excited to watch the most out of these?
I think there are 3 matchups that really are the ones I want to catch. And I think the first one for me is like Asmas v Lodi. I think they're like really back and forth and really good in the tier they're playing. I think that's like the definite highlight for me. Besides that, I think Evu v Hack will be, if it happens, will be an amazing game to watch.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like, they're both boomers. They play this tier a fuckload, and I think it will be really interesting to watch. And then on third, I think for me is Society v Rob Jr. Both really good DP players. I think Rob has the best DP record at this point, and Society just showing consistent results in the tier. Dale, how about you? Which highlights are you thinking about?
Definitely also Black and White. We've done quite a few analyses on the Black and White tier, and those two have been consistently putting out awesome games. The tiebreaker match of Hack, which we are going to discuss in the next video, was very amazing. So I'm hoping to see some not only good play but also some innovation in the tier, because at risky matches like these, bringing innovation and also being able to get somewhat of a surprise factor can be very big. So I think with the knowledge of like everything the tier holds, both are probably comfortable enough to pull something like this off. So I definitely hope to see something I have not seen before. I wouldn't be expecting out of this match. Yeah, other than that, I think the multi-gen Ubers match is also going to be very exciting. We saw both of the contestants in the matches we covered today. Both really great players, so excited to see those in the different generations compete. And I think Shitrock and Jor is a very good player. I'm not sure about their capabilities in specific tiers though, but maybe the advanced Ubers one could be going to be very interesting. That's maybe an honorable mention, but for the last one, I would be personally very interested in is my Java versus Kate in SV.
Yeah.
My Java is usually using more solid kind of teams, but Kate also is similarly prone to bringing some innovative tech. So I'll be excited to see those matches, and of course also the rest of the matches here. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add?
No. I think we covered everything.
Yeah. All right then. Thank you so much for being here, and with that, bye bye.
Thank you for inviting me.